Okay.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? How the heck is everybody doing? I am Nightmare Jones. I am joined by the one and only Maestro. What's going on, sir?
What is up, Nightmare Jones? How you doing, buddy? It is
Man,
great seeing you.
I am doing absolutely amazing. I'm a little bit hot. It's kind of hot here. I got my vaccination today, so hopefully I don't turn into a zombie during the Wrestle Talk podcast show. So we got a great show tonight. We got Man Pondo coming on. We got Crist coming on. Man, it's going to be an absolute show. I'm telling you.
I am beyond excited to have these two gentlemen on. I mean, they are staples of the Wrestle Talk podcast, after all. I mean, especially Madman Pondo. So this is going to be an amazing show.
Exactly. And, you know, for those of you that don't know, Man Pondo is actually recovering from a injury. He was in a death match, and I guess he broke one of his ribs, and this rib punctured his lung and caused his lung to collapse. And so he is actually out of wrestling for like the next, I think it's 6 or 7 weeks. So
yeah,
he was supposed to wrestle in Charleston, but he had to back out of it. He's still going to be there. He's just not going to wrestle. But one of the guys that was doing one of the other shows stepped in and he's doing the death match. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm sure he'll tell us all about it.
Oh, yeah. And after all, I mean, he is very well known for his high tolerance for pain. So, I mean, in the end, it's not going to stop him from going out there and giving it his all.
All right. Well, you know, we're not gonna go any further. So, Hardcore Hoss, you know what you need to do. We do this every single time. Could you please play the national anthem for us, sir? Do I have to sing it myself?
I don't know which is worse, your rendition or his.
Say, can you see and the rocket
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'll make up for it.
I'll finish it.
For the land of the free.
Brings a tear to my eye every single time. Every single time. Now, normally we would have the night out, but the night out had some other things that he had to do for the Wrestle Talk podcast. So it's just you and me tonight, Jeremy. Are you ready for this?
Hey, man, we've done this before. I am
know.
so ready.
Oh, man. It is going to be absolutely awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into high spots while we wait for Man Pondo to come on. So, there's the music.
Mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like Flair chops. We talk shop, coming through the screen with the laptop and non-stop like I want to speak with the blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a clock flash, feel like a barely pop that ass hard. We up the scene while they say slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast, now they know we about to start the show.
All right, now, Jeremy. Next time that you're on, you have to do that exact song, word for word.
Oh my gosh! No, I'm not a freestyler, man. I don't know about all that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get into some high spots. You know, there's so many things we could talk about, but I'm going to go ahead and start it off big with what everybody's talking about, and that is there any wrestler bigger right now than Kenny Omega? Is there any wrestler right now that is hotter than Kenny Omega? I mean,
You know, personally, to me, the only person that could bury Kenny Omega is Charlotte Flair. But no, there is nobody right now in the wrestling world higher up on the mountain than Kenny Omega. Explain why, Joe.
Why? Well, I mean, he's already the AEW heavyweight champion, which is a feat in itself, and
Right.
and now, as of last Sunday, he beat Rich Swann, so now he is the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, and they're already talking about what titles that he's going after next. Like maybe he'll go after the Ring of Honor title. Maybe he'll go after the New Japan Pro Wrestling title. Could you imagine if Kenny Omega was the AEW champion, the Impact Wrestling champion, the Ring of Honor champion, and the NWGP champion? Man, but I don't know. I don't
Gallows
know
and
if
Anderson are going to have to play the belts for him.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think that the only person that I could think of that was a bigger belt collector than Kenny Omega would have to be Ultimo Dragon. This man.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, no. I mean, Kenny Omega. And this is the thing, though. Seeing, if you want to call it a story, if you will, seeing stories like Kenny Omega's are those that I love in pro wrestling. Because you're not going to see a WWE superstar go to Impact Wrestling and win the WWE Championship and the Impact World Championship, or go to AEW and win both. The fact that AEW and Impact, it's not just AEW that's done this. This is Impact. It's even been New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's been NWA. It's been Ring of Honor. Basically, all those major promotions, aside from WWE, have started to open up what is known as the Forbidden Door, and have done a lot more cross-promotion over the years. If anything, over the past few months, more so than ever. Whether it be partly because of the pandemic and them wanting to increase ratings, or I just think they realize, look, it's 2021. These big-time rivalries aren't exactly what they were back in the 80s and the 90s with all the territories. So by them having all these cross promotions, like you said, it's because of that Kenny Omega is on top of the world. When Don Callis went on Dynamite for the first time, everybody was shook. Like, they didn't believe that. They were surprised beyond belief. And now here Kenny Omega comes to Impact and beats Rich Swann? Like, what? Even though I said to myself that was going to happen, I still couldn't believe it, because the fact is now he has the top title for two major promotions, and this is probably the best Impact Wrestling has been in years. And I'm not just saying that because of AEW. I'm saying it because they finally found a good TV situation that they're comfortable with. They finally branded themselves properly. I mean, and they're not bringing in Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff.
See, I remember Impact Wrestling back when it first started, when it was still NWA TNA, and it was like it was like weekly pay-per-views. Like, it was like, did you know that at one time Impact Wrestling had women dancing on poles?
You know what? I have seen that on like old videos of Impact, NWA TNA, because I think they had like the NWA stuff promoted all around. So you're not going to see that these days, but I do think it's kind of cool.
Exactly. So Impact Wrestling has been around for quite some time. I think that one of the biggest mistakes was when they decided to try to run on Monday nights and bring in Hulk Hogan at the same time. That just... that kind of screwed it over. But, since you mentioned Charlotte Flair, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you got to say about Charlotte Flair? Because I'm interested in hearing your thoughts.
Okay, so I'm going to do this one, and then I got an even better high spot one after this. But we're going to definitely do Charlotte Flair first. Okay. First, I think we should have a moment of silence for all the women in WWE who are about to be buried by Charlotte. Okay, now that we got that out of the way. I mean, okay. First off, I think it's just in the blood of the Flair family that there's heels than faces, because Charlotte Flair made her return 2 weeks ago, and she did an amazing job. And I'm not saying anything otherwise. She did an absolutely amazing job, cut an amazing promo, comes off as just a dastardly asshole heel, which is what you want, because Charlotte Flair is one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time. But as we have seen over the years, what happens is the women who already are either getting a push or are working to get a push get pushed down, because Vince just has something for Charlotte, and because I don't know, it's just I'm not too keen on all of a sudden inserting her back into the main event of the women's division picture. She was already involved in an angle where she beat the hell out of a referee, got fined $100,000, suspended, came back on last night's edition of Raw, and the ref apologized, and it's just like, look, Charlotte's talented beyond belief. That is not what's in the question here. But the question is, does Charlotte coming back and being pushed automatically into the Raw Women's Championship picture basically regulate all the other female wrestlers in that division downward? What do you think, Joe?
I mean, if you really think about it, Peyton Royce is a phenomenal wrestler, and she cut a phenomenal promo, and she wrestled Asuka, and she got beat, but she wrestled a great match, and then 2 weeks later, she's let go. I mean, Charlotte Flair, as much as I love Charlotte Flair, she plays a great, great, great heel, and that's what they need, is they need a great heel. But what I don't understand is they also have Rhea Ripley playing a heel. She tag teamed with Nyla Jackson, Shayla Baszler last night. So, I'm not quite sure what they're actually going with this angle, but I do like that they have involved Sonya Deville in it. I like how they're slowly moving her towards like a heel manager type, general manager type. So, yeah.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Well, it looks like I just got some breaking news for my next high spot story. So give me 1 second. The packaging it came to me in is a little loose, but nevertheless. Here, Joe. Look,
garbage?
They brought me the story in a trash bag.
What story?
The story about Mickey James.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a good one.
Okay, so for the few of you that don't know what happened, while I clean up the mess I just made all over here. Mickey James was one of the, I believe, 12 superstars that were released by WWE. A lot of very talented wrestlers, a lot of surprises, most notably Samoa Joe, were among those released. Now, the big controversy came when it was discovered that Mickey James had gotten her care package, her Goodwill package, whatnot, from WWE in a trash bag. And it was posted on social media. And it caused this huge controversy. It led to the firing of Mark Carrano, who was a high-ranking WWE executive.
Yeah.
And it also led to Nick Dinsmore, who's known as Eugene, formerly known as Eugene, I should say, bringing up the potential for more allegations regarding Mark Carrano. So, I guess I just gotta ask, why the hell, for somebody, especially Mickie James, who's not only a future Hall of Famer, but once again, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. I vividly remember probably when she beat Trish Stratus for the WWE Women's title at WrestleMania 22. So my thing is, why do her the disservice of bringing her or sending her good, farewell package, good care package, whatever you want to call it, in a trash bag? Like, what the hell? That is, and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon said what they could to try to cover up the situation. But at the end of the day, it's something that needs to be addressed because it creates more bad publicity for WWE. They're still the top promotion in the world, but this is not how you're supposed to treat them. Especially when they put in as much service as wrestlers such as Mickie James has. So, what do you think about this mess? While I put my bags away.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit of feedback here, but yeah, it's definitely a interesting story, and kudos to Triple H for being so pissed off that he fired the guy that actually did that. Like, why would you think that it was okay to send her stuff in a freaking trash bag? You're talking about Mickie James, one of the most well-known women wrestlers around, and you send her stuff in a trash bag? Like, I don't understand that. Like, that is totally not cool, and I'm glad that he got, what he got for that situation.
Right. It just blows my mind, and hopefully it doesn't happen again now that the employee responsible got fired, and I don't even know what other allegations could be out there about him, but I hope everything does get situated as best as possible. Now, I found out that our first guest is on hold, but before we bring the Madman himself on, we have our lovely sponsors to talk about. I'm just saying.
And
you want me to say them? I would be honored. Okay, our lovely sponsors of the Wrestle Talk podcast are Everything Combat, Kincaid, Esports Bar KC, Interstate 70 Sports Media. By the way, happy birthday to our lead Cardinals writer, Andy Cockrell. Have a wonderful birthday and many more. Continuing on, Royal Mills Transportation, Painter's Dream Productions, and of course, the FWWC.
There you go.
That's how we roll.
Such great freaking sponsors, and speaking of baseball, I don't know if you play a lot of baseball games, but I'm definitely saving up for the next MLB the show. I know that 21 came out. I know that 21 came out, but I'm still playing MLB the show 20. So
I'm doing the same. Don't worry. You're not alone on that one. I'm still doing that as well, but I'm looking forward to the next one as well. So, all righty, Joe. Do you want to do the introduction, or should I?
I would be more than happy to do this introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is not a stranger to the Wrestle Talk podcast. We have had him on the podcast multiple times. Every single time, it's always an interesting interview. I mean, this man is what I would consider a king of the deathmatch wrestling. He's an all-around great guy, and ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the man that has been undefeated in the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. The man that has destroyed me not once but twice. Wrestle Talk Podcast's own Madman Pondo.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
What's going on, sir? What's going
Glad
on?
to be back. I'm glad that
Yeah.
this is the first time I've seen your guys' faces, though.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
This is something different that we started last time. We were still doing the phone interviews. Now you get to see this pretty face.
And what a pretty face it is. What a pretty face it is.
So I would ask you how you're doing, but I know that's probably a sore subject right now.
Not sore at all. I'm doing better every day. For people who don't know, WrestleMania weekend, I broke 2 ribs and 1 punctured my lung, making it collapse. And I drove from Tampa, Florida to my parents' house in Groveland, Florida. And a few hours went by, and my body told me, hey, there's something going on this time. You better go. So my mom took me to the hospital, and short version, they gave me a x-ray and said, within looking at the x-ray for 30 or 40 seconds, they're like, Mr. Kennedy, we have to get you back in your room. You have to do we have to do emergency surgery right now. So my lung so that happened, I would say about 4 o'clock, and I probably didn't make it to the hospital until 9. So my lung was filling with blood and air, and if I hadn't went to the hospital, we might not be on this podcast today. But
Yeah.
Somebody's got a train coming through their house.
Yeah, let me shut this door.
Might be
quick.
Braun Strowman.
So anyway,
That might make it a little bit better.
if it had to happen, at least I was in close to my family's house where. So I'll also tell you this. So they gave me the emergency surgery. I know you guys want to talk about the Masters of Pain, but so many people have asked me about this, so it's good to get on a podcast and talk about it.
Oh yeah.
So they gave me the emergency surgery. They put a tube from my armpit to my chest, which went into the lung. And the minute the tube hit the lung, I could hear the air, and then blood would seep out. Then I'd hear the air. There was a lot of air. So, yeah, it was good that I went to the hospital this time. But 2 things that I will say. 31 years, and I finally spent the night in the hospital over a wrestling injury. I had never done that before. I went in and got stitches and stuff, but never had to spend the night, never had to put a gown on, never had an IV in my arm.
Yeah.
So 31 years, it was bound to happen sometime. But even after it happened, I went back to the ring and did another 6 or 7 minutes. So that's got to say something, right?
Oh, absolutely. You are one tough son of a gun. Like, I don't think I could have done it. I do not think I could.
You're a trooper, that's for sure, man.
Man.
I hear you.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Some people call it toughness. Some people call it the R word. So I'll go with the R word. The R word works, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you're gearing up for the Masters of Pain. I know that you're not allowed to wrestle, and I saw that you've been replaced with G Raver, who's also another guy that has came onto the Wrestle Talk podcast. So that's absolutely awesome. That even though you're still going to be there, so I still get to meet you. So
yeah, I'm Masters of ceremonies for both days. I don't know what that
Nice.
means, but I think that just means Fat Ton still wants to give me a payday. So he gave me a title, and
There you go.
I'm going to be there for all 3 shows. Of course, I'm going to be there for Girl Fight because that's mine, but I'll also be there for the Masters of Pain.
I'm telling you, I already have my hotel booked. I've already got my tickets. I am good to go. I think that the person I'm most excited to meet is Mickey Knuckles. I think Mickey Knuckles is who I'm most excited to meet. I've seen a lot of her matches, and she's a lady that I very, very, very much respect in the wrestling business. For doing
Well, I will
what
make
she
sure
does.
I will make sure you 2 get a selfie together. How's that?
Oh, that would make my day. That would really, really make my day. I don't want to take up all the interview time, so Jeremy, why don't you go ahead and ask whatever questions that you have.
All right, I got a couple because look, you, my friend, are known as a death match legend in the industry. And I have to ask, no, it's true. And I have to ask, there's so many different styles of wrestling, so many different, you got the hardcore style, the lucha libre, technical wrestling. What got you into that death match style? The brand, if you will.
I think we've even talked about this on this podcast before, but do you remember back in the day when WWE had the In Your House pay-per-views every Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Me and like 10 or 11 friends, back then they were like $60. So me and a whole bunch of friends, my house was the meeting place, and we would all pitch in and get the In Your House pay-per-views. I don't think we missed a one. And I would notice while I was sitting around watching the pay-per-views that we were up getting food or teasing each other and really not paying that much attention to the TV. Cool spots, we would pay attention to, or the main event we always watched, but for some reason those only lasted about an hour. But we really wasn't that much into the pay-per-view. But I was a big tape trader at that time. I hope you both know what tape trading is.
Yes, tape trading. Yes.
Yes. So I had tons and tons. Oh man, coughs hurt.
Yeah.
Coughs hurt.
I know. Just take your time.
Okay, so sorry. So
Okay.
So being a tape trader, I had deathmatch videos. Now this was I was wrestling at this time, but not death matches yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I started realizing that my friends, after the pay-per-view, would always say, put in one of them deathmatch videos. So they put the deathmatch. I'd put a deathmatch video in, and all eyes would be on the TV. Not one person not staring at the TV. So my friends were pretty hardcore wrestling fans. If something interests them much to where it would keep their attention, then I told myself, well, hell, this is what I want to do. I want to be a deathmatch worker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the videotapes, and I'm very proud to say this, we wore it out. It was the Masanaga Mr. Danger versus Mr. Pogo compilation videotape of like 6 or 7 of their matches. We wore that son of a bitch out. But I am on first name basis with Mr. Danger, and I was with Mr. Pogo as well. Rest in peace. But how about that? That the two guys that you was watching to become stupid like you are today know you on first name basis. That doesn't happen all the time.
No, it does not.
I was gonna say,
that is
doesn't get much better than that, honestly.
no.
Not
It
only
really-
that,
Wow.
the wrist.
Yes.
Shit. The wrist gauntlets that I wear, those were given to me by Mr. Danger, and that's why I've wore one ever since he's given them to me. So, yeah, man. They say never meet your heroes, but mine were pretty fucking cool.
I was gonna say you got some pretty good role models right there. Like, no doubt about it. Now, I have to ask, you've gone all over, not just the world, but in the United States. There are some promotions that I was looking at that you've wrestled in, and I will admit, there's some crazy names. So I'm just going to name just a few ones that the listeners might not have known. So these aren't going to be those big notable ones. So bear with me. You got the Insane Wrestling Federation. You got the Lunatic Wrestling Federation. You got Real Deal Pro Wrestling, Resistance Pro Wrestling, and then I do got two more that I just found entertaining as hell to read. You have Sex and Violence Wrestling, where apparently you won known as the Sick Fuck Championship.
Right.
And West Side Extreme Wrestling. So
the Sex and Violence Wrestling, that was out of Memphis, Tennessee, run by Tony Myers, the new Leatherface in Japan. And at the time, I thought this was a ridiculous idea, but he is the first one I knew doing no ring wrestling. We went to the New Daisy Theater. There was no ring. We just wrestled right off the stage, but the house was packed. We did one outside somewhere in Memphis. I can't remember where that was, but yeah, Tony Myers for Sex and Violence was the first one to do a no ring wrestling show that I know of. And what was that second one? West something?
Well, there was West Side Extreme Wrestling.
And here's the problem with that, man. It's all Elemental P to me. They all mesh together after a while. Do you remember who I wrestled? Do you remember who I wrestled at that show?
I do not, but I know that you had won the WXW Hardcore Championship.
Shit, man, I don't remember.
I know.
My brain is mush.
No, I don't blame you. It's let's put it this way. It's on one of those things where if you wanted to look, it's going from the way back archive.
I hear you.
But no, it's just interesting to me because you have seen so many different styles, been to so many different places. I mean, no ring wrestling is just sounds gruesome of itself, but it's fascinating for them to put your line there. And I think I see something almost every show. Whether it be Joe or I, or Renee or Jordy and I, we talk about how much wrestlers pour into the industry, because there's people that's wrestling and shit all the time. But in the grand scheme of it, to me, you've literally put your day on the line, judged by this interview, for you to cough and everything. So thank you for everything you've done.
If you think coughing is
try to
bad,
keep the lung intact, please.
If you think coughing is bad, sneezing is death. A sneeze is like the worst thing I can do right now. I've only done it twice, but yeah, sneeze is way worse.
Yeah,
way worse. And I only have 2 broken ribs. I can't imagine people that have 6 broken ribs. Or I feel for all of them.
Right.
Absolutely. So, one of
absolutely. I mean, I remember Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, so one of the newer
No, you're good, bud. Go for it.
One of the newer promotions that you've been working with is a promotion out of Indiana called Anna Fight Underground.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Anna Fight Underground? I know that one of these shows you had a Necro Butcher there, which is another guy I would love to be able to meet.
Yeah. He's going to be there the 29th as well. I, of course, had to pull out of my match, but Anna Underground in Anna, Illinois is still going to bring me in and let me do commentary just to help me out with my bills and everything, which
Nice.
I totally appreciate them guys for that. But so I will say on the 29th, which is this Thursday, there is a big announcement about the June show that I can't reveal because I promised them I wouldn't. But keep paying attention. But so there's like 4 or 5 guys, 4 that I know of. Mike McNeely, Zach. I can't remember what his last name is. I'm terrible. Dalton Diamond and Brad Cash Borden, who are man, they put this show together, and their first main event was supposed to be me and New Jack, but New Jack got his leg surgery, so he couldn't do it. And then the second, I mean, they're bringing in the creme de la creme of the deathmatch guys. They brought in Nick Gage for a signing. They brought in Ricky Shane Page for this show, and they're bringing in Neil Diamond Cutter. You know, they have a vision of what they like in professional wrestling, and they are presenting it to the people. And so far, I haven't seen a bad crowd for that company.
Yeah.
So this one is the one with Ricky Shane Page, and by the end of the night, I will have. But by the end of the night of their show on the 29th, I will have a hell of an announcement for everybody for their June show.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I've watched both of their shows that they've had on independentwrestling.tv. So yeah, so I'm a big fan because obviously I can't go to the show that's in Illinois, so I'm glad that I can watch it on the independentwrestling.tv.
I'm glad you can too, because those guys are working really hard.
Oh yeah.
So in June, you've got this big 3-day wrestling show in Charlotte.
2 day.
2 day. Yeah, 2 day. It's 3 wrestling shows in 2 days, which is absolutely amazing. I think that by the end of it, I'm gonna be like wrestling out because you got, if I'm not mistaken, you've got the G0 on Friday, and then Saturday afternoon you've got Girl Fight, and then that night you've got the deathmatch wrestling that night.
Masters of Pain, yes.
Masters of Pain.
So we're calling it the IWA East Coast weekend because that weekend we're gonna own that motherfucker. So Friday at 7:00 is the 0G tournament, and it's 8 guys who really need to be in a 0G tournament. You got Jake Crist, you got Aaron Williams, you got Gary J, you got Myron Reed, Jason Kincaid, Facade, you know, and there's a new one added because, and I'll explain why, but well, I'll go ahead and explain why now. So G Raver was in the 0G, but because of my ribs and because of my injury, I pulled myself out of the Masters of Pain. Trust me, that was a really tough thing for me to do. I really wanted to be in the Masters of Pain, but we have moved G Raver from there to the Masters of Pain. So 0G is going to be one hell of a show, and it's going to be nothing but flying in the air. Some shit that I can't do, but are very entertained and can't wait to watch. And so we get done with that. We're gonna try and find some bar for all the wrestlers to come and chill and all the fans to come and hang
Nice.
out with.
Nice.
Surely we'll have that all worked out. Hotels will be worked out within a week or two for everybody. But you said you already have yours, so no problem there.
Yeah.
But so then we can't stay up too late partying because the next day at 1:00
Go
in the
fight.
same building will be Girl Fight Wrestling, and we just got our girls are not just tits and ass girls.
Mm-hmm.
Our girls can actually wrestle. So they're going to put on I already know they're going to put on a hell of an entertaining show. You got Mickey Knuckles, you got Billy Starks, you got Charlie Cruel, you got Kayla Cassidy, just a whole bunch of really good girls that want to entertain people. So that's show 2 of the weekend. So we start that one at 1, get done at 4 maybe, and then we set up for our Masters of Pain. Masters of Pain starts at 7:00 in the very same building, Campbell's Creek Skateland, 421 Campbell's Creek Drive in Campbell's Creek, West Virginia. It's just like a suburb of Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah.
But if you put in your GPS, it'll come up. But look at the lineup that we have for the Masters of Pain.
Yeah.
Since I'm out of it, we've got G Raver, we got Slack,
Jimmy Lloyd.
we got Nolan Edwards, we got Akira, we got Jimmy Lloyd, John Wayne Murdoch, Shane Mercer, and Alex Colon. I mean, think about that. Think about those 8 guys in a tournament, how good that deathmatch tournament has the capabilities of being.
Oh yeah. Yeah, me being a deathmatch wrestling fan, all of those names are very, very familiar. Like, I've seen Slack's matches, I've seen Jimmy Lloyd's matches, I've seen Alex Colon's matches, I've seen G Raver's matches. So I am so excited to see even newer wrestlers like Akira. I haven't seen any of his stuff, but I know that he's been out there for quite some time, and John Wayne Murdoch. So I'm so excited about that. It's my first death match. So for those that have never been to a death match, what can they expect being in the audience? I've always wondered that question.
Well, you always have to be aware that things are going to fly.
Yes.
Blood's going to fly. Glass might fly. But it's always enter at your own risk. So we're not trying to scare fans away because we want them to come and enjoy. But, a deathmatch show is in your face. It's there. There's things that happen at a deathmatch tournament that doesn't happen on any other show. If you're a WWE fan and you've been to WWE multiple times, you're not going to see a lot of WWE matches at a deathmatch tournament. One guy that you forgot to mention, and I'm so proud of him, Nolan Edward, who is really making his name known in the deathmatch world. He did 11 matches WrestleMania weekend. Think about that.
Wow. 11 matches?
Yeah, in 3 days. Maybe 4 days. I don't remember, but either way.
Man, that's...
Oh, and if you have not seen it yet, you can go to Kevin Kennedy, Canady. Canady. That's my Facebook. Azawa, the deathmatch designer, has created a beautiful T-shirt for the Masters of Pain 2021.
Yes. I will get one. I will be getting one. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh,
and I don't know if you noticed this, and I didn't ask him to do it, but I'm even on the T-shirt. Next time you look at the back of the
there you
t-shirt,
go.
it's the names. There's a shadow of somebody. Might look just like this guy right here. You never know.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Heck yeah.
There you go.
Heck yeah. So, where can fans get buy tickets? Because I know that that you have single tickets, but you guys are really wanting to sell the package tickets.
Yeah, we pretty well. We have a few tickets left, but we have not said the word sold out because we are hoping that the numbers will go up. If the numbers will go up, then we'll have some more single tickets, but we're really shooting on those package tickets. So we've had a few people request the single tickets, but we've held them off because we want to sell those package tickets. But you can go to iwaeastcoast.com, and I believe there is a link there. I haven't been there, so I'm talking out of my ass, but I do believe that there's a link there to buy tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You can write Michael Tawney, Michael space Tawney. That's Fat Ton. That's the owner of IWA East Coast. You can write him, or if you can't get a hold of none of those guys, you can write me, and I'll get you in the right direction. That's Kevin Kennedy, Canady. Yes, it's true. When I came out of my mom's womb, she didn't call me Pondo. Name's Kevin Kennedy. So, yeah, just find us somewhere. And then even if you wanted to see that T-shirt, that's also where you see it, Kevin Kennedy on Facebook.
Yeah, we actually contacted the owner, and the Wrestle Talk podcast is an official sponsor of the wrestling show. So we're totally happy about that.
And we are totally happy that you guys have joined us. That's why we're on this podcast now. We're doing you guys right because you guys did us right.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure on the next hour, I don't know if I'm giving it away, but you got a couple of guests going to be on the next one as well.
Yes.
Can I say, or is that a surprise?
Yeah. No, it's not a surprise. You can go right ahead.
No. Next hour, if you guys hang around, you'll have the owner of IWA East Coast, Michael Fat Ton Tawney, on here, and 0G member Jake Crist is going to be on here. So you'll be able to ask them questions and all that about the 0G, because I'm not going to lie, I don't know a lot about the 0G. I did not book the 0G. Girl Fight I booked, and Masters of Pain, I was given a list of names and asked a list of names, and 8 of them said yes. So I know more about the Masters of Pain than I do the 0G, but Fat Ton knows all about that 0G and all the other information that you might need to know.
Awesome. We're definitely going to ask him about it. Jeremy, do you got any more questions?
I just got one more, and I think it's something I got to know about. Okay, so what horror film were you in?
2001 Maniacs with Robert England.
You were in a horror film.
Yeah, 2001 Maniacs.
Oh my gosh, how was that?
It was Robert England is Mayor Buckman. It's a continuance from 2000 Maniacs from Herschel Gordon Lewis. But yeah, man, for JCW, the guys that was filming me always realized, Roy Canarum and Pat Tanatello always realized that I was wearing horror movie T-shirts to wrestle in. So they asked me if I wanted to be in a horror movie. And my answer was, without a doubt, fuck yeah, I want to be in a horror movie. So for a first movie, being in it with Robert England and Lynn Shay, you might know her from the Insidious
Oh, yeah.
She was also the landlord on Kingpins. You know, love that. Travis Tritt's in it. Eli Roth was in it, and an extra glorified extra, Madman Pondo's in there. You can play a drinking game. Every time you see me, you take a shot. You'll be drunk as shit by the end of the movie.
I look forward to that.
There you go.
I'm a big horror fan myself, so that's why.
Shit. If you go to my Facebook and go down to my photos, you will see two different files. One will be, it'll say 2001 Maniacs, and that'll be me with pictures with the stars of the movie. But if you go down a little farther, it'll be 2001 Maniacs scenes, and it has pictures of each scene that I'm in the movie. That way you don't have to keep searching for me all the way through.
There you go.
But I did get my own scene. It didn't last very long.
So what you're saying
I'll
is...
still take a shot, Pondo, don't worry.
So what you're saying is that I need to get this movie, buy a bottle of tequila, and every time I see you in the movie, I have to take a shot of tequila.
Well,
Damn right.
And then I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. It's been absolutely amazing, sir. Is there anything else that you wanted to let everybody know before we let you go?
Well, yeah, I always do this because I appreciate it getting made. But if you're interested in Madman Pondo's book, it's called Memoirs of a Madman. You can get one at Amazon.com, or you can go to EatSleepWrestle.com. All one word, EatSleepWrestle.com, and talk to John Cosper about getting an autographed copy. And there is a book 2 in the works now, and then next year there will be a book 3.
Well,
so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I am planning on getting that book, and when I get it, I'm going to bring it with me, and hopefully I can get you to autograph it for me.
Well, if you hold off, I will have copies at the Masters of Pain.
There you go. Masters of Pain, and I'm going to get my Man Pondo book. Heck yeah. Oh, my goodness. Such a great interview. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being on.
The last thing that we need you to do before we let you go is to promote your Facebook, and where can they see Man Pondo at next?
Well, I'm on the shelf for another 10 weeks, but my return match will be for Anna Fight Underground on June 24th. That's my birthday. I will be in the business 32 years. 32 years, June 24th. So, Anna Fight Underground return match. I just got booked in North Dakota last night. I cannot remember the federation or the date. Blame it on death matches and getting hit in the head too fucking much. July something. Oh, shit, man. I'm so terrible at this. July, I'm in a deathmatch tournament for AWR in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, and then No Peace Underground has one coming up. I can't remember. No Peace Underground talked to me about coming back in Florida. So that's about all I got for right now, because everything just got put on hold. But don't give up on me, because 10 more weeks and I'm right back in there doing what I do, you know.
We would never give up on you. We would never give up on you, Madman. It's been absolutely amazing. We can't wait to have you on again, and I'll see you in June.
I'll see you as well.
All right. You have a good night,
Thank you for your guys' time. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, Pondo. Best to you, my friend.
Oh my goodness! What a freaking interview! I am so sorry if I took over that interview, but you don't understand how big of a fan I am of Madman Pondo.
I was glad you did, because look, I know Madman Pondo, and more importantly, I know you, and I know that because I've been part of the show long enough to know that when he's on, you guys are on. You know, so it's like two best friends getting together. So I don't have any issue with it.
All right. Well, so why don't we take a little bit of a break, and then when we come back, we'll get into some more wrestling, and then hopefully we'll have Jay Crist and Fat, the promoter of the wrestling shows that are happening in June.
Absolutely. Stay tuned, folks. The Wrestle Talk will be back.
From my town, just to know that all brand new, no need for a throwback. Tell where you're from, but don't be dumb. Didn't even know it, but they said that I won. I will keep grinding, no rewinding. I will ace life like it's one big assignment. Young Max Saga, holla there. Never tripping on them haters, cause they ain't nada. Was a hustler, I swear I'm just like her. Girl, put your titties in my face, that's why I like her. Hey, big heads, but I love big faces. My name is Victorious, I already tasted it. Look up. Early in the morning, I'm up, trying to get it. When it comes to that important shot, I gotta hit it, cause I'm clutch, baby. Young Reese, he's way too much lately, living mania. Feeling crazy, you know what's up, baby. KC's the place where I'm at, where they get hit with the Mac, they get stabbed in the back. I come pull along with a link up with the pack, eating up fucking beats like they some type of snack. And then I hit the club, see the people moving. I be chasing paper while some people still snoozing. If you ain't winning, must mean you're losing. That's taking L's, and that's something I ain't doing. I'm a straight winner from beginner, you should know that. From the killer city, so you know I gotta show that. We the Kush Masters, break it down and roll that. Trying to get some racks, after that, get some more racks.
Hey, wrestling fans, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat talking at you, and you're listening to the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Well, we are back on the Wrestle Talk Podcast. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the Maestro, and we just had an amazing interview with the one, the only, the king of death matches, Man Pondo. Now, later on, we're going to have Jay Crist on the show, and I am looking forward to that as well. What is up, Nightmare? It is good to see you back, gentlemen.
Oh man, you know, it is absolutely, this show's been absolutely amazing tonight, and we're just now getting going. Like we still have another hour. We have another hour.
Have we had any confirmation on if our guest is ready for us yet?
That I do not know of. I'm sure that happens, that they will let us know. But the question is, what do you think of The Undertaker? The Undertaker has been staring at you the entire show.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of looking down a couple times, because I don't like him staring into my soul like that. See, normally, folks, let me make this clear. Normally, I would have either, sports-related stuff in the background, or I'd have wrestling things in the background. You may wonder, why the hell is it just a wall like this? Well, the Maestro is moving. Not too far away, but I am moving, and I've been breaking my back and hauling ass getting all this crap out of the apartment. But let me tell you, when the time comes, the office would be all set up. When I'd be on the show, when the office is all set up, I'm telling you, it's going to look awesome. I look forward to it. But I have to ask you, Joe. So, let's see. We just had Man Pondo on, and he's obviously a legend of death matches. Is there any death matches that typically stand out to you, a longtime fan of deathmatch?
Absolutely. My first death match that I ever saw, and as soon as I saw it, it captured my eye. That would have been Onita against Terry Funk in the exploding barbed wire ring death match. That
I know exactly which one you're talking about on that one.
Yes. Onita is one of my favorite deathmatch wrestlers. I understand we're going to be able to get him on the podcast because his I don't know if he would be capable of doing that. Plus, his English is not that great, but Onita is by far one of my favorite deathmatch wrestlers, and I love watching like FML Frontier Martial Arts wrestling. Man, in Japan, they're absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Like you think that they're crazy here. I've seen death matches where they had beds of scissors. Yeah, scissors.
This is the thing, and this is what I show. First off, I don't mind if his English isn't that good because let's face it, Joe, we have Renee. So,
wow.
Anyway,
Wow.
I'm gonna get kicked in the ass by him for that one, but I don't care.
He's gonna call you a club bum.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Joe, you're absolutely right, folks. If you want to talk about the American death matches or those hardcore matches you see in the States, that pales in comparison to overseas. Okay, and for friends of mine who aren't big wrestling fans, sometimes I show them the exploding barbed wire death matches just to show them that wrestling isn't fake. I'm like, oh, okay, you think wrestling's fake? Oh, and nothing really hurts them? Okay, well, here, we're going to lay some C4 to the sides here. And Hawk, if you're wondering why we're laughing, because Hardcore Hoss just pointed out that Renee's really going to kick my ass after that one.
Jeremy just got fired.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Maestro, it's been nice having you on the Wrestle Talk podcast.
I'm going to just message it now. I'm messaging Renee, folks, saying, please don't fire me.
Best of luck on your future endeavors, sir.
Hang on.
Oh,
see,
my goodness.
It's right up there. It says, please don't fire me. And he's not gonna have a single clue why, but when he does, oh my gosh. It was worth it. I just saw the opportunity. What can I say? A lot of love for you, Night Owl. You know that. More love for you.
Has Drake Lee rubbed off on the Maestro a little bit? Because
I think he might have a little bit. Because it's always, I love the Night Owl a million times more than Drake Lee ever will. But, it's like Edge, the ultimate opportunist. You see something, you just got to go get it.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, forgive me on that one. You know what? It's okay. Might not be. Okay. While we also wait for Jay Crist to get here, I got another one. We were talking about video games earlier.
Yes.
All right. What was the first wrestling video game that you can recall playing?
The first one?
Yeah.
The very first WWF game for the Nintendo.
Oh gosh, that would probably be Warzone. I think. I believe that was
No, for
WWE.
it was just
Oh, for the
WWE.
Nintendo in general.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I
W.
think
It
meant
was
the
no,
N64.
it
Oh,
was WWF WrestleMania.
yeah.
You only had a couple characters. You had Andre, you had Hogan, you had Macho Man, you had the $1 Million Man, you had I
Bam
think
Bam. I
Bam
think.
Bam. I think
Yeah.
Bam Bam Bigelow was there, and you would collect these little bouncing things that would go across the ring, and it would give you powers. That was the first wrestling game I ever remember playing. I mean, I've played all the other games, from the WCW games that were on the Nintendo to the games that came out for the Super Nintendos to the there was a game called Saturday Night Slam Masters for the Super Nintendo that I remembered playing, and yeah, I played a lot of
Okay.
video games.
See, and I wish, now see, this is one time I wish I didn't move all my video games aside from my PS4 to the new place because I have WWF WrestleMania for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I would have showed it, but that's a interesting game to say the least. First game I played, now I own almost all the N64 wrestling games in general. I own some NES ones. I'm going to get some SNES ones. But the first wrestling game I recall playing, it was either WCW NWO Revenge, which is still one of my favorites to this day, or it was Day of Reckoning 2, the second Day of Reckoning.
Okay.
And I love Day of Reckoning 2. I love Day of Reckoning. I was always a big Nintendo person, so naturally those ones just came to me. But no, I think if I had to pick a favorite though, for me it's a tie because it's either going to be WrestleMania 2000 or No Mercy. Both outstanding.
That is absolutely just about everybody's game. Like, if you ask somebody the top wrestling games, they're either going to say WrestleMania 2000 or No Mercy. Those two games were absolutely amazing. For me, my top four would have to be WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, WCW versus the World, and WCW Revenge versus NWO Revenge. Yep.
That is a hell of a top four right there. I think the Acclaim and THQ era of video games were the best, in my opinion. But
Acclaim has just put out so many bad games. Like, it's just
LJN put out a lot of bad
games. Yeah, LJN, not Acclaim, LJN.
Not Acclaim. Acclaim's amazing.
Yeah.
LJN's what put out the shit.
LJN, and unfortunately, there were some wrestling games that came out that were
under the LJN banner.
Yes,
there's an Angry Video Game Nerd episode. For those that don't know, he's a very popular YouTube YouTuber.
I've seen that episode multiple times. I've seen it multiple times.
He does wrestling. He does one on wrestling games.
He loves LJN. He loves it. Like, he sees it and he's just so oh man.
Laughing, joking, numbnuts is what LJN stands for him. Oh, now see, there's a soundbite I would love it from Haas to have him AVGN rant about it. But about WWF attitude, there's this an interesting thing. I don't know. You probably know this because you are a wrestling aficionado yourself. Okay, the game was dedicated to Owen Hart. He had passed away that year. They had pushed back the release because while they kept Owen Hart in the game, they took out the blue blazer, the costume that he had passed away in when he fell 70 feet. But did you know you can still access that costume?
I did not know.
I believe it's either with like a beta version or a game, or you use a Game Shark. But there is a way, and it's proven on YouTube, that you can unlock somehow the Owen Hart Blue Blazer. And it's not something I'm, head over heels over, but it's just interesting because, after that accident, WWF did so much to kind of hide all that. But speaking of Owen Hart, this is going to be another smooth transition. I was once again watching Dark Side of the Ring. And, I've been rewatching a bunch of the episodes. And for the first time, I was finally able to watch the one on the Von Erichs. But the reason I say Owen Hart earlier is one on Owen Hart. And all of them are just so powerful. I mean, and season 3 is going to be a double season, so it's going to be twice the length of the normal season. But you're going to have the debut episode is going to be about Brian Pillman. I look forward to that because Brian Pillman was one of the most underrated athletes of his era. And on top of that, he was one of the main catalysts for the Attitude Era. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had the Pillman got a gun incident. You had just his loose cannon gimmick. But I looked at some of the other ones. Luna Vachon, Nick Cage. My personal favorite, though, that's going to be on there, this one's cracking me up. The Plane Ride from Hell. That is probably one of the greatest stories in wrestling lore. I mean, Joe, you've heard of the Plane Ride from Hell. And all the crazy stories like Michael Hayes' hair getting shaved and, Ric Flair doing all kinds of weird shit and people flirting with attendants. I mean, it's just like, and I think it's also one of the reasons Mr. Perfect got released or fired. They probably sent him his good riddance package in trash as well.
Yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to this new season. It's definitely one of the best wrestling documentary series that's ever out there. I mean, the network / now Peacock has always done a great job with theirs as well. But I do really enjoy Dark Side of the Ring. If anybody who's a wrestling fan hasn't gotten a chance, you can find the full episodes on YouTube. They air on Vice TV. And just know that the episodes are very emotional. I think the one that, like I said, the Von Erich one really got to me. Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero one really got to me. And the Owen Hart one, though, I think got the most out of me because, and I'll tell you why. For the longest time, growing up as a wrestling fan, if you follow WWE, you're meant to believe Martha Hart is like the Yoko Ono of wrestling. Yoko Ono, people always used to blame her for breaking up the Beatles when she wasn't the reason. Martha Hart was meant to be portrayed as this evil, dastardly, stubborn-ass woman. Reality is, she's just protecting her husband's legacy the way she sees fit. She's a very intelligent woman. And mind you, after Owen died, they went up. Her and her kids went up to the balcony, to the rafters in the arena to see how far he fell. I couldn't do that. I seriously could not fucking do that for the life of me. So with that, I kind of get us out of that somber mood. I know.
Yes.
Because we consider that our shoot and shout because we had a lot of ranting on that one. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our second guest is on. And ladies and gentlemen, he has competed for many well-known promotions over the past 18 years, including AAW, Heartland Wrestling Association, Combat Zone Wrestling, and Ohio Valley Wrestling, just to name a few. He is a multi-time champion in multiple promotions. It is my pleasure and Joe's to introduce Wrestle Talk Podcast, Jake Crist, gentlemen.
What's going on?
How's it going, guys?
Man, thank
Hey
you
Jake,
for
how
coming
you
on.
doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
We're
We're
doing
all right, man.
absolutely awesome.
Thank you for joining
It
us.
is it
Oh,
is a
thanks for
honor.
having me.
Yeah,
Of
man, it's an
course,
honor
man.
to have you on. I've been following your career for quite some time. I believe that first time I saw you wrestle was for Combat Zone Wrestling.
I'm sorry.
it it was a down with the sickness ladder match.
Oh, that was a pretty good one, I guess. I'm happy that you've been a fan for so long.
I
Sorry that you've
have.
been a fan of mine for so long.
Oh, you're a great wrestler. Come on now.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I guess that
Hey,
my
you're just
first
being humble. No problem.
yeah, I guess that my first question is you were part of a pretty good, pretty amazing faction in Impact Wrestling OVE. What was it like being a part of that faction?
It was great. I was in a faction with my best friend Sammy Callahan, so
Mm-hmm.
it was like a dream come true. We got to run that company and take over wrestling 3 times because it's all about taking over everything.
That's right. That's right. It is. It was about taking over everything, and of course, you also had the one and only Madman Fulton, who is absolutely amazing. I love Madman. We've had him on the podcast, so got to give a shout out to Madman.
Oh, he's amazing. Not only is his heart is as big as he is tall.
So, yeah. In June, you are going to be wrestling in a Zero G tournament in Charleston, West Virginia. How excited are you about that tournament?
You
Because
know,
there's some pretty big names.
I'm actually really excited about it. I'm coming into my second tournament. That'll be my second tournament coming in this year. I was in the TPI just last weekend, but yes, I'm actually looking forward to it. Hopefully, this one I will walk out victorious.
Well, considering that I'm going to be there, I'm sure that that's going to happen. So.
Well, I'm hoping you're going to be my good luck charm then, my
I will
friend.
definitely. I've got my hotel booked. I've got my tickets ready, so I'm good to go.
Hell yeah, brother! That's what I like to hear.
I am absolutely good to go. I don't want to take all of the internet, all of the interview. So, Jeremy, I know you have a bunch of questions. Go right ahead, sir.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. So, Jake, I have to ask. I mean, first off, you are a 12-time member of the PWI 500. Now, mind you, that is worldwide. That is awesome. Congrats to you, my friend.
Thank you.
I want to ask, when you first debuted, what was the first promotion that you debuted with?
My first promotion I worked for was this company called FCW, not Florida Championship Wrestling, but it was called First Choice Wrestling. It was ran by a guy named Big Jim Hutchinson. He's like a big Dayton legend. So yeah, I was lucky enough to be on his first show at the Piqua Fishing Games. It was an outdoor event. And yeah, it was pretty fun. I was a junior in high school coming in, so I was a boy coming into a man's locker room, so that was pretty frightening. But once I got past the fried fish smell, it was all downhill from there.
Nice.
There you go. I'm gonna say, because I was reading a story recently how the Miz was talking about, when he was first in the locker room, he was kind of treated like shit. They kind of kicked him out for a few months. Did you have any rough experiences in the locker room? Up starting out.
No, I was very respectful. I always respected my people that came before me, the veterans in the locker room. So yeah, I'd never had a problem, anything like that.
Well, that's awesome. Looking at some of the promotions you've wrestled in, and by some, I mean you have definitely been around, which is awesome. Get your name out there. Although when we had Pondo on earlier, I told him he had wrestled for Sex and Violence Wrestling, and I said to myself, where the hell do they get these promotions from? Like, of all of them. But to name some of the ones you've been a part of, like I did when I introduced, you know, you've been Combat Zone Wrestling, Cleveland All Pro Wrestling. You've been multiple IWA wrestling promotions. And of course, you got Ring of Honor, Impact, and Heartland Wrestling Association. So I have to ask you, what promotion did you win your first championship in?
My first championship won was Outlaw Championship Wrestling in Yellow Springs, Ohio. It was my third show ever.
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was the light.
Talk about a push.
Light heavyweight. Oh yeah, I didn't know what the hell was going on. They were doing live commentary in the match, and I was wrestling Big Jim Hutchinson, the guy I mentioned that I worked for in my first show, and they were talking about how I was going to go to like WWE in the future, blah blah blah. And being young and naive, like I said, I was just a junior in high school when I broke in the business. I thought all the promoters and everyone had a line in on everybody. Like he just picked up Vince McMahon and was like, "Hey, I got this guy. You need to bring him in." So I was really naive and thought that was really going to happen just because he said it during my match. But it was just a ploy to like, hey, make sure you get the tickets for next show because you never know when Jake Crist is going to be leaving.
Right. That it's definitely one of those marketing ploys. But hell, it works. I mean, well, that's how I look at it. You know, while I don't remember exactly who I had said it to, but I said it to a guest we had on in the past that was a champion after such a long career. Granted, it wasn't just his third show, but I told him, I was like, look, when you're a champion, you know, they put that trust in you, you know, to succeed. So for you to have it, and especially that early on, you know, that is awesome. Like,
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too. But then from there, I won a couple championships around here, and then went on to Heartland Wrestling Association and won my first championship there.
Okay, awesome. Well, we have with us another guest on hold wanting to join us all in this lovely conversation because things just only get better here on the podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, he is recognized doing commentary over the years for IWA East Coast, and he is the owner/promoter of IWA East Coast. It is my pleasure to introduce to us, alongside the one and only Jay Crist, Michael Tawney. How you doing, Michael?
I don't.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hey, what's
All
going
right,
on?
buddy. How you doing?
What's going on, bud?
Can you hear me, Jake? Is it?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
You guys got me?
Oh yeah.
we
High
got
five,
you.
Jake. High five. I can hear you guys. Yeah.
I'm used to seeing you in your car. I always look at your live. I'm always, looking at that live feed. Big Tony's in his car. That's what we're used to seeing.
Well, where am I at right now, brother? Where am I at right now? It's
what I'm saying.
It's all those live feeds in the. I like to refer to it as the mobile. The mobile offices of IWA East Coast is what I like to refer to it as.
I like that.
So
the traveling show, indeed.
I actually just left the. I'm actually just here. Let me do this real quick since we're doing all this stuff. I actually just left the school where we have. Jake's been down here once or twice doing seminars with our school here at the Power Slam Academy. I just left there to come down here to meet up with you guys.
Nice.
So
we're glad.
So
here you are off showing.
How's everybody doing?
You're showing your car off. You're showing the school off, and I'm just showing off on how Yeah, let's keep rocking and rolling and showing off together.
I was gonna say I see those double monitors back there, you big gamer. So.
Not really. Just I like to play on my PlayStation.
I want to just say, for the past
and get
hour,
paintings done of my awesome logo.
well, that's fine, because I want to just say, for the past hour, the Undertaker's been staring into my soul behind Joe, but he's finally fallen down, so I don't have to deal with that.
It could be worse. Could be worse, guys.
I was actually upstairs in the school, and they were up there, and well, Jake, you know, like how loud it gets in the school, and they're up there banging around in that ring, and I was just like, there's no way I could do this and be up here, so I had to come down here.
And
so
I love the car background. I almost did that myself. Just jumped in my car. I was like, you know what? Maybe not, because I know Tawny's gonna jump in. we all can't be having a car background.
That's right. That's
right. I mean, earlier on, I told
that's
Joe
my gimmick, man. Don't be stealing my gimmick.
Take it. It's all you.
Earlier on, I brought in a bunch of trash bags and said, "Hey, look, I got breaking news from WWE." They gave me my news story.
Ouch.
Right. So Michael, we've been talking about this IWA East Coast wrestling show that's going to be happening in June in Charleston, West Virginia. Why don't you let us know a little bit about that? Because it's a big event. It really truly is. I don't know. Maybe
so. It's the 0G tournament that we're going to be having for IWA East Coast here in June. Can you hear us, Michael?
Yeah, it is. We've got 3 shows in 2 days.
There you go.
The gauntlet, man.
It's
holy.
You got.
What do y'all think about the? What do you guys think about the buzz?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
You like that? You like that?
I like that. It looks good. I like it. Maybe one day you'll go full bald and be.
Don't put that
brother.
on me.
When I seen that, I was just like, "Oh no, what happened?"
Oh, dude, I got busted open hard way, so I had to shave it to glue the cut in the back of my head.
Oh.
Yeah, the
oh
hair
my
was
God.
The hair was getting in it, so I was just like, super glue. Let's glue this bitch together. Because that's what men do. Because I'm a Mario.
That's what men do. They super glue their cuts.
They go MacGyver on that.
I'm sure Pondo will tell you the same thing.
I'm sure Pondo's done more than just super glues himself.
Pondo's too tough for super glue. He just get the regular element. He'll get the Scotch tape and just put it on there.
I'd imagine he's the kind of guy that will sew himself together just with his teeth.
We've on a couple of Masters of Pains, we've used staple guns to close wounds.
Oh,
so see, there we
go. We pinched 1 year. We pinched Wax's arm together and staple gunned it together. And that was after the match. That was just to close it up. So we've done a lot of weird stuff during those MOPs to close people up. Now, so we got a good weekend coming up. I mean, 3 shows in 2 days. We got the 0G. That's going to be on the 11th. On Friday. That's what Jake's going to be a part of.
Want to win that RV doing that shit right here. Winning that tournament.
Jake's one of the there's a few we gotta I put that 0G tournament against any tournament, honestly.
Absolutely.
It's probably my favorite show that we do every year. Then we got the girl fight the afternoon the next day, and then we got Masters of Pain that evening on Saturday. It's the first time we've done MOP in I think 6 years. The last one we did was 2015. The 0G we kind of do not as frequently as I'd like, because I like to do those yearly, but I had some stuff come up over the last few years that I was dealing with, taking care of my grandparents and stuff. So wrestling was kind of back burner. So East Coast was kind of back burner for a while, and we would do what we could do while we could do it. But now we've kind of got everything lined out. We've got some great people we've partnered with Skateland there in Campbell's Creek. David Roy, the guy that owns that building, is just a dream to work with. Anytime we've ran shows there, we did. To get an idea for the layout for the building, you can actually go back and watch Masters of Pain 2012, the one that Matt Tremont won. And that's going to be the venue where we'll be at.
Okay, awesome.
So,
like I said, this is my first ever. I've watched deathmatch tournaments. I've watched deathmatch wrestling, but I've never actually gone to a event. So this is my first ever deathmatch event that I'm actually going to be at. So I'm like kind of nervous because I don't know what exactly to expect. You know.
Well, if I can make a suggestion, all right. You'll obviously have your face mask on because, you know, we're doing the thing for the social distancing and all that stuff. So make sure you got your face mask. And even if they say no masks, wear a mask because, man, that light tube dust and all that stuff, you want to make sure you're not breathing that in. And then if you've got glasses, that's great. If you want to get you some work goggles just to throw on top of that, that may not be a bad idea either. And be prepared to move when they come your way. You know, and that's not just Masters of Pain. That's Zero G, because I have a feeling that this crazy guy up here above me is going to be jumping out of the ring and doing all this other stuff. It's not called Zero G because they stay on the ground.
There you go.
So,
I'm beating ass at Zero G, that's for sure. That's one thing you can look forward to in my match in the Zero Gravity tournament or Zero G. I call it Zero Gravity. But anyways, the Zero G tournament is the fact that I'm going to bring a lot of pain.
There you go. See, you got Jamie
Masters
Crist.
of Pain. You see that I did that?
you will master the pain of the Zero G.
The pain of the Zero G because I'm a G.
Going Zero G.
Exactly. I mean, with the Zero G tournament itself, you know, you got Jake Crist, obviously. You got Prasad. You got Jason Kincaid. I mean, just some great freaking wrestlers. Like
we've got Jason Kincaid, Aaron Williams, Gary J, Myron Reed, Jason Gorey, who's won the Zero G before, and I'm telling you, our first match that we had last year in Milton, West Virginia, our first show, on that show was the man above me, Jake Crist, and Jason Gorey. And that match tore down the house for Future Fight. And it set the bar for the whole show. And I was just like, okay, we got to do Zero G this year. We have to. And we got to have these two guys in it. So we got Gorey, Jake, Aaron, Gary J, Facade. And then we had to replace G-Raver because G-Raver took Pondo's place in the Masters of Pain. And we replaced him with a guy that we've had for a few shows that I've fallen in love with his style and what he brings to the ring. His name's Espiritu Maya. And check him out online. He's a great talent. Luchador, mask, the whole deal. It's, you know, he's got a great look to him. He's a damn good kid with, you know, he's going to do something special. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing when I seen Jake. The first time me and Jake met was at a show that we did at Skateland.
Yeah.
And you came in there and y'all kicked the heads off of those boys that you were wrestling, the Day Brothers. Yeah. And I was like, we've got to have this Chris kid in here as much as possible. Jake is just, he's something. And then throughout the years that Jake's been coming in for us, he's always been top notch. One of the guys that I can just call on for anything. And he's been my dude, man. And when we had the opportunity to do Zero G and Jake was available for it, I was like, let's get him in it. I was like, I don't know why we haven't had him in it yet, but let's get his ass in it.
I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I plan on to win the whole damn thing because I want to shout that motherfucker out.
In my position, I shouldn't play favorites, but I have a favorite, you know, and I have a favorite, you know, so but yeah, it's
I wake up and
I'm pretty excited.
Excellence.
Well,
That's
Well,
excellent.
if it's excellent, I'm afraid to find out what your shit.
Ricky Bobby.
unfortunately, I just wake up and piss all night. I'm old, so
Me too. Me too. I'm getting to that age myself.
I have old man bladder at this point.
Oh my goodness.
So
Bathroom break first in the morning for me.
yeah.
So I know that you guys have single tickets, but I know that you all are trying to sell the pack tickets, like the 3 tickets, a little bit more than the single tickets.
Well, here's where we're sitting on the tickets. We're going through the process right now of counting what we have, and we've been kind of releasing a few tickets at a time with the single tickets, so that in the grand scheme of things, a lot of people are going to come into town and they're going to get a hotel room,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people are coming in from out of town and they're going to get the hotel room. So if you're going to come in from out of town, you're going to get a hotel room, you might as well check out another show the night before,
Exactly.
You might as well. So
exactly.
It normally when we do this, when we first started Zero G MOP, it was a 1-day show. So like in the afternoon you'd have Zero G and in the evening you'd have MOP. Well, since Pondo started the girl fight situation over the last couple of years, he asked me about doing the girl fight, and I was like, well, maybe we could do a whole weekend. And we worked it out with the building, and the venue was cool with it. So boom, whole weekend. So we figured, okay, well, let's do that. So now with all this COVID stuff, we're making sure that the ticketing kind of matches what we can hold in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So we separated a certain number of single tickets with a certain number of combo tickets. And the plan is and we've kind of kept to that plan as much as I've wanted to separate the single tickets, because the greed in me wants to separate and sell as many MOP tickets as I can. But the common sense and the safety aspect of it for not just the workers, but for the fans, is to keep the numbers that we have, work with what we're going with, and as the numbers go up, we have a certain amount of tickets we can add each time they run our numbers up here in the state. Now, the great thing about the state of West Virginia is multiple things. We're called Wild and Wonderful West Virginia for a reason. All right. So it's like the outlaw and the out west when it comes to professional wrestling. So there's really not too much handcuffing us on a lot of stuff. The numbers have been going up as far as like what they're allowing for things to happen wise, because the vaccination numbers in the state have gone up. We're telling all the guys, look, if you need vaccinated, get your vaccinations, but if you haven't been COVID tested, make sure you get COVID tested before you come in for the events, blah, 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 blah. Like myself, I'm fully vaccinated at this point.
Me too.
Same.
Yeah, vaccination passports, and it helps out a lot. And the great thing is, like, a lot of you workers, like I'm surprised, like there's a couple of guys that I know that's in Zero G that they were getting tested and getting booked so frequently that they actually, when they went to the doctor, the last time that they went and to get tested, that the doctors told them, look, you've been in here this much, let's get you tested to see if you have the antibodies. And if you have the antibodies, you're free and clear. You don't have to get tested. So a couple of the guys have tested positive for the antibodies, which means they won't catch it. And so they're just like, they're giving us that information. So we're like, all right, cool.
That's awesome.
But like I said, with those numbers going up and that stuff happening, it's like we're slowly increasing the numbers here for venues and events. I run a movie theater here for my shoot job, and our numbers have been slowly coming up. More and more people coming out to the theater, and as I see more people in my theater, I'm sitting there. The wrestling promoter in me is like, okay, I'm gonna get more people in the house.
Right.
So I'm looking at. I should know next week with a couple more things with some number crunching. There should be some more single event tickets for MOP coming open. But we still have plenty of weekend passes. Those weekend passes are $50. I mean, and that you're getting you're getting 3 shows for $50.
Right. Exactly.
You can't beat that.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
You can even have a drinking challenge. Every time Jake jumps out of the ring, you take a shot of tequila.
I don't know if I have that much tequila.
Joe,
I can see Jake, because if that started happening, I could see Jake purposely trying to get me messed up on, just literally, he would literally just jump out of the ring to be like, "That's one," and he'd point over at me and tell me to start drinking.
I'll hit 17 dives off the rip.
Oh my goodness. So you're trying to kill people then?
You're alcohol poisoning.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think Joe is literally trying to kill my liver because when Madman Pondo was just on, he told us where he's a horror movie. He appearance in one horror movie, but he's in it a lot. So he says every time he's in it, we see it. Take a shot at tequila. Now here's Joe trying to get us to take another whole big drinking game.
Now, and this is how Pondo. Now, and this is how Pondo is. Did Pondo tell you how he got all those shots?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you how he got in all those shots. He'll tell you the story. What he did was he stayed around there the whole time on set, in costume the whole time. And when they were needing extras in the background, Pondo would just work. Now, mind you, he was a boxsmith. He stood out in that movie. You know what I mean? But there goes Pondo walking around the back like, "Oh, I'll be over here." Da-da-da. And that's how he got in so many shots. Is he just? And I'm like, and if you know Pondo at all, that's not surprising. That's not surprising that he did that. Oh, I'm gonna go there and get behind him and get on camera again. That's Pondo. Yeah. Love the man.
Sniper.
By the way, speaking of Pondo, since Pondo had to pull out of MOP, what we've done is I talked to Pondo and said, "Look, brother, you still need to
Pondo know how to pull out?" Go ahead.
I don't think it matters. Hey, don't tell him I said this, but at this age, I don't know if it matters, does it?
I don't know.
I'm going to get a message about that later. He's going to get me He's going to get me about that later. So, since Pondo had to, I got you. Watch this. Since Pondo had to leave Masters of Pain, I told him, I was like, "Brother, it's not the weekend without you. It's not East Coast without you. So you can't be the master of pain, but you can damn sure be the master of ceremonies." So Pondo's going to come in and he's going to host Zero G. He's going to host Girl Fight, and he's going to host Masters of Pain the whole weekend. So Pondo won't not only be at the one show, he'll be on all the shows as the host.
That's awesome.
And that's the best thing you could probably do given the circumstances, like with his injury.
Oh yeah,
and it's true. You cannot have that type of event without the Madman himself. Like, absolutely. So, and that with the show in West Virginia is also good because like you said, with everything with the COVID restrictions and guidelines, like here in Missouri. I live in the St. Louis area, and they're finally starting to let up a lot of the promotions out here. Finally starting to have shows again with limited capacity, social distant. People are getting their vaccines, so it seems like we're starting to get the ball rolling. Now, granted, not every promotion out here has exploding barbed wire or guys flying, like. Rocky the Flying Squirrel or anything, but nevertheless, it's still awesome to get things rolling again. So it's definitely a show to look forward to. Without the shows, it's like I said, it's a gauntlet of shows. Like it's not just one. We got 3 to look forward to.
And it was funny because when we were setting everything up, I had a kid hit me up and he was like wanting to do something with an after party. And he was like, "We can have a couple matches at the after party." And I said, whoa, hold on. We're going to have a show on Friday, a show Saturday afternoon, a show Saturday evening, and you want me to do an after party for these guys to just sit through all this wrestling and have more wrestling?
That's the
there ain't enough alcohol in the world to allow me to do that. And I don't have enough.
Abrams.
There ain't enough cookies to tempt me. You know, it just no.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's some shit Herb Abrams would have done. So
Yeah,
I'm glad you're not.
Even I have my limitations. You know.
That's what I'm.
So
Right.
So but yeah, we'll have like these guys in town, and you know, we'll have a place set up where once we get it all done, we'll have a place where everybody can go to hang out. And even David Roy even said that anyone that wants to camp out at Skateland and spend the night there, they can. So
There we go.
I'm just like, dude, that's going to be insane. But if that's what he's cool with that, like I said, David's super cool. He's always been real cool with us there at Skateland. He's always been one of our top supporters in the East Coast in the company. His daughter's favorite wrestler is Pondo. So, you know, she's like from a little girl from like 7 years old, she was at the shows watching, just love Pondo. And so that's been, you know, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart kid, grew up loving Pondo, and the whole family loves Pondo and loves East Coast, and they are East Coast through and through. And when you have guys like that on your side and guys like Jake and that kind of stuff on your side with the companies, it really helps us get everything solidified and give everybody great shows and great entertainment.
Absolutely.
It's good times.
So you mean I can actually get to hang out with Jake Crist? That's
Absolutely,
that's
Bob.
amazing. That's amazing. The first beer's on me.
Now I've introduced Jake to a couple of good places that have really good food around here, and I introduced him to the Juicy Lucy at a bar.
It was really good.
That was amazing cheese. Yeah, the big old cheeseburger filled with cheese, and man, it was
really
delicious. It was delicious.
It sounds very, very healthy. Health conscious.
Absolutely. Let me tell you what, I felt so bad too, because I see Jake now, and I'm going to brag on Jake even more. Jake's probably in the best shape of his life right now. He's so motivated, and it's really just, to me, it's like an inspiration to see him, what he's doing. And I felt so bad afterwards because I gave him all that cheeseburger, and I know that was not healthy. And now, and now I know I shouldn't do that to him the next time he comes into town, I'll totally throw him.
That was before my journey, on the weight loss journey.
Nice.
Nice. Now I'll just have to get him some celery, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll just be like a rabbit.
So.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So what else do you got for us, Jeremy? I know that you got a bunch more.
Okay, well, I have to bring this up since the four of us are here, because we let our livers kind of relax from the thought of just drowning it in alcohol. So I want to ask you, Jake and Michael, I want to ask you guys, because we talked about the shows a lot, at least on a per night average, how many fans are you anticipating at these shows?
Well, right now, what we can hold capacity is 200 plus.
Okay.
That's what we can safely hold capacity is 200 plus. Everybody's wanting those MOP tickets, and it's going to be easy to hit those numbers for MOP without a shadow of a doubt. The MOP will hit the numbers. Girl Fight should hit the numbers, and so should Zero G. They should.
Okay.
They absolutely should.
Better.
But it's just.
You hear me, West Virginia? They better hit the goddamn numbers.
Right?
Well, and I'll tell you what, the people that are traveling from out of town would be the ones I would expect to buy the full event. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you right now, because that to me is just, to me, it's just only makes sense. You get into town early enough, you watch that show, the Zero G, because you're going to start. I'm telling you right now, right now without hesitation, it will happen. Something crazy is going to happen at Zero G. There's going to be a banger of a damn match nobody's going to expect happening. Gary J is going to pull something off, or somebody's going to do something that's going to pull a banger of a match that people aren't expecting. And after that happens, they're going to be sitting at MOP hearing about it from the people that were at Zero G, and they're going to be like, damn, I should have been there. And all they have to do is just come in a day early.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
I mean, don't get to the point where you say, damn, I should have been there. You be the one telling everybody, damn, you should have been there.
Right.
You know? I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, right now, like I said, I know we can house 200 plus in the building. I fully expect MOP to sell out without any hesitation at all. The other ones, they're going to do what they're going to do, you know, and that's that. If I'm anything, I'm honest to a fault. And honestly, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, deathmatch wrestling has an amazing following, a cult following that just is mind-boggling at sometimes. And I've been asked for the last 6 years, MOP. And I've been wanting to do it for the last 6 years. But unfortunately in West Virginia, it's find a venue. And that's what I keep telling people. Find a venue, find a venue, find a venue. You find a venue, I'll blow it up. I'll do MOP. The good thing about Zero G, I'll blow it up. I'll do it. Zero G, the greatest thing about that is it's not hard to find a venue for what you would consider traditional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I don't like doing is going into a building and then being blindsided by stuff. So I show them MOP. I show them what they're going to get. I'm like, look, this is what you're going to see. Can we do this here? You know? And most of the time, like the last time we had it was in a haunted house in 2015.
That doesn't surprise me.
Nice.
And if you go back and you watch that footage from 2015, you can tell it's a haunted house. There's literally like portraits of like horror movie stars and stuff. And Pondo got the guy to paint the blacksmith back on that wall behind Freddie and Jason and all those other guys. So he got his stuff on that wall. But yeah, so like MOP is always going to do its thing because that like I don't know if Pondo told you guys, we got guys flying in. I've got fans from Czechoslovakia that have bought tickets in the hopes that he's going to be able to make it in and his airport will be open. We've got guys from Japan, Germany, and England that have already bought tickets. So, and then we always have a huge following over in Japan, especially with that design that Seizawa did on those T-shirts. That, you know, he always knocks it out of the park on those.
Yeah,
Pondo,
yeah.
No, that thing's beautiful.
I'm definitely going to get one.
Oh yeah, it's and I want to try and get a Zero G shirt designed at some point in time. I want Zero G to be on the same level as MOP. I don't feel as it gets the same. I don't feel it gets the same respect as MOP. I don't feel as though a lot of those tournaments that are like that, like Zero G, get the respect or get that following that MOP does. And you see high quality individuals, high quality talents that have been in Zero G that are on WWE television, that are on AEW television. You've seen the Ricochets when they were younger, the Chuck Taylors wrestling in these Zero G tournaments, and you're just like, man, you guys don't know what you're missing. These are the one thing about East Coast, and you know, Jake's a compliment of this is you're seeing these guys on their way up. In West Virginia, a lot of the companies you're seeing are guys that are bringing in the old heads. You know what I mean? The older guys that have been on that have made it up there. And the great thing about these Zero G tournaments, the MOP tournaments, the East Coast shows in general have always been, we're looking for those guys that are on their way up. The guys that you can say, I've seen them win.
Right.
Pondo's birthday bash, Sammy Callahan versus Pondo. Necro Butcher versus John Moxley. and it all happened at a soccer field here in Charleston, West Virginia. It made no sense, you know.
Wow.
So it's just, I mean, it's just that stuff throughout the years has been the thing, and then when you get a guy who's made it and have made a name for himself like Jake, and he's coming in now, and he's got this opportunity to help these guys that are on their way up. Not that Jake's finished by any stretch of the imagination, because why he's not signed somewhere, I have no idea. You know,
Thank you.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before Jake's back on TV somewhere, because I'm telling you, I've never seen him more driven. I've never seen him more motivated, and I've never seen him tear the house down during a match like he's been doing at Mid-South and East Coast and everywhere up and down the roads he's been going.
I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling too, my friend.
Well, and to see that guy like that, and then you see this kid that we got coming up at Spiritu Maya. We see these guys that haven't been seen, that aren't, for whatever reason, not getting the attention they should get, or got like a little splash of attention, like a Kincaid who got that little splash of attention in the Ring of Honor tournament, or a kid like Gory who hasn't gotten the attention he should get, or a kid like a Spiritu Maya who's on his way up. Aaron Williams, unsigned, and it's insane. It doesn't make any sense to some of these guys. And when you see that, all those guys, Gary J, exactly. And you see those guys all together in a tournament at one time, man.
Why wouldn't you want to come?
Man. So, exactly. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just one of those things where, like, I don't think people appreciate it till it's after. You know what I mean? Right. Now, the one great thing about the deathmatch community is they come together and they support. And they do. Oh, man, do they ever. And,
gotta love like, that deathmatch community.
Right?
And that was actually part of the we put G-Raver in that 0G because in the grand scheme, you don't think G-Raver for 0G. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You don't. If you're thinking traditional wrestling, G-Raver's made his name, and he's made his big splash recently with the deathmatch stuff. They don't understand that majority of these deathmatch guys, Pondo, G-Raver, Masada, these guys are amazing wrestlers, amazing talents. And one of the best matches I've ever seen was we had here in Nitro was Masada versus Matt Hardy. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
So awesome. So I'm sorry, guys. I ramble. No, I do that a lot. I brag on Jake. Jake is literally my brother. Like in the grand scheme of things, I love Jake like a brother. I really
love
do.
You too, my man.
And I mean, he's my dude. You know, and I just, you know, I anything that guy needs, I'll do for him in a heartbeat. You know.
Same with you, my friend.
Right on. Well, Jake, I know Michael just kind of went on that lovely speech about tangent. You, and it is all right, the tangent about you. But I know you let me know that you do gotta hit the road.
Yep,
you gotta roll on out. But where can people find you? Because I mean, we know where to find you on Friday, June 11th. But where can people find you on social media?
Hit me up on my social medias across the board at the Jake Crist, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I have too many. I think you can only have 5,000 friends. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's up at its limit. So just hit me up on Twitter and Instagram.
All right.
Jake, it has been an absolute pleasure having you, buddy. You be well and kick ass.
Thank you, sir.
You too. Love you guys. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Much love, buddy.
Love you, brother.
Peace.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Michael, we were going to have the game show challenge with Jake against Maestro, but since Jake had to leave, how would you feel about being a part of the Wrestle Talk Podcast game show challenge?
I will be more than happy to do anything you guys need. That being said, if there's a game show challenge involved, I'm all for it. I'm sure I'll screw up. I'm sure I'll mess something up. But hey, I get hit in the head a lot during training, so it is what it is.
Hardcore Hoss, you can play that music for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Now, normally this is when I would say what the topics are about and who's competing, but as you already know, I, the maestro, Jeremy Karp, am going to be facing the one, the only Michael Fat Tawny. Now, Joe, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. So, tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are the maestro, Jeremy Karp, and Michael Fatan Tawny. So, in honor of tonight's guest, our Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge is titled Made in Ohio. In a few moments, I will give you background information about 3 professional wrestlers who are connected to the state of Ohio. When you think you know the answer, just shout out your answers. So, here's question number 1. So all you have to do is just, when you think you know the answer, just shout out your answer. So this wrestler hails from Cincinnati, Ohio, has spent time in... How did you know that?
Cincinnati, Ohio. I've heard it every week he's on.
Wow. All right. Well, the maestro is up 1-0. I don't know how he knew that already, Michael.
He knows the questions. That's what it is. I hear Cincinnati, Ohio, and I think Brian Pillman. I think Les Thatcher.
Okay, well, all right. No, question number 2. This late professional wrestler is also from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Brian Pillman.
Brian Pillman, exactly. You would be correct. So, wow. So we are tied.
Now I'm just going to say, if you come up with another question and the answer is B.J. Whitmer, then I'm cool with that because B.J. used to be our champion. So I'm, and he's Ohio based.
If I swear, Joe, if you give a question that the answer is B.J. Whitmer, we're going to have a problem.
No. All right, question number 3. This wrestler was born in Cleveland, Ohio. He spent time in ECW. He spent time in ECW as part of the Eliminators and in WCW as a member of Raven's Flock and the Revolution. He had
Saturn.
Saturn would be correct. Michael, you have won the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Congratulations, sir.
Do I win cookies?
Yeah, Herbie cookies.
And they stay there. And they stay there. And they stay there.
Well, congratulations, sir, on winning the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Just make sure that you promise us that you will come back on to the podcast at some time. And before you go, let us know how people can get a hold of you and how they can buy tickets to the event happening in June.
All right. So you can reach out to the East Coast Company at our Facebook page at IWA East Coast. Our Twitter at IWA East Coast. Literally anything is at IWA East Coast. Or on our Instagram at Real IWA East Coast. Myself at Faton at FATTAWN on Twitter. You can type in Faton into friggin' Google and it will pull me up somewhere on something for Facebook and what have you not. As far as tickets go, IWA East Coast Facebook page, or you can type in IWAEastCoast.com and your little computer's there. That will shoot you over to the IWA East Coast Facebook page. Hit the little click now button to buy tickets, and that'll take you through the ticketing process on there to purchase your tickets. Like I said, right now the individualized tickets for MOP have been pulled until we get the numbers wonked out, but we do have the 3-day passes, and we do have single passes for 0G and for Girl Fight right now as well.
Okay.
So
Absolutely. I'm telling you, if you haven't got your tickets, you need to get your tickets. This is going to be a absolute amazing show. Like, you can't beat 3 shows for $50. You can't beat
Well,
that.
well, and the best thing is if you buy that weekend pass, you're going to save $10 as well. The zero G
Exactly.
tickets, the zero G tickets are $20. The MOP tickets are $30, and the girl fight shows are $10. So you're going to save $10. You're basically getting girl fight for free if you purchase that weekend ticket.
Exactly.
So
And that's worth
Why
it.
don't you
Just
buy all three? There you go.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's worth it. I mean,
I
go
probably should have led
right-
with that, huh?
Right?
That's a pretty strong offer. I probably should have led with that.
I mean,
Instead of beating people up for not going to all of them, I should have led with the deal.
Exactly. Just
The marketing was a little misguided, but other than that, you did
Yeah.
good.
either that or just tell them that if they don't buy tickets, that you're going to send Mickey Knuckles after them.
Well, and that's one thing you don't want. I think we all understand that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that would be
Well, Michael, it
All
has
right.
been absolutely amazing having you on. So we look forward to having you on sometime soon, probably closer to the event, so you can talk a little bit more about it. So absolutely.
Absolutely, guys. Anytime you want to chat, feel free to hit me up. I'm down. As you can tell, I love to talk.
There you go.
I love to talk.
You love to talk.
So do
And
we.
you love cookies.
It worked perfectly. Yeah. We'll all have a
we
tray of
talk to you
cookies.
later. All right.
Be well, Michael.
Thanks. See you later.
Oh,
Woo.
oh man.
What a freaking show.
okay,
Absolutely
so-
amazing. Yes.
Before we go, Joe, before I close this out,
Uh-huh.
I think we should give yet another shout out to the amazing sponsors that help make the Wrestle Talk podcast what it is. First, I also have to say thank you to StreamYard because I'm telling you, I freaking love this. Like for the video, it's so badass. It's better than just using the phone. I'm telling you, this is the way to do it.
I agree.
So, but
I mean,
as
you
for our
see my
sponsors,
pretty
ladies and
face.
gentlemen, of course, you know, and my beautiful beard, it's flawless. Okay,
Exactly.
so for our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, we have Everything Combat, Kincaid, the Esports Bar KC, Interstate 70 Sports Media, Royal Mills Transportation, Painter's Dream Productions, and, of course, the FWWC. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Wrestle Talk podcast. It has been an absolute pleasure. Everybody, I am the Maestro. He is Nightmare Jones. I wish you nothing but the best of health and peace and love for this next week, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.